Breaking news for the US-Iran war. Right now, JD Vance has announced that the US and Iran peace talks, which have happened in Pakistan, Islamabad, as we know, after just 24 hours have ended without an agreement. This is bad news for both parties. Now, details emerge regarding failed talks between the US and Iran as negotiations end with no deal. Details include talks ended because Iran refused to offer a commitment not to develop a nuclear weapon, and JD Vance says that Iran has chosen not to accept the US terms. And obviously, as a result of this bad news, which will most likely continue the war and continue to keep the strait closed and therefore continue to increase oil prices, has affected also the price of Bitcoin, which we can see here. Now, going into Bitcoin, and this news just came out 4 or 5 hours ago, going into Bitcoin, let me show you guys, it has obviously taken a hit immediately. We can see Bitcoin has already gone down approximately 2%, 2 to 3%, now looking like we're finding a support. But on the news, we had Bitcoin actually reach almost $74,000, which is amazing, and now back down to $71,000, $72,000. So Bitcoin, if we look at it, is trading in this bearish flag pattern here, which previously it has also traded in and broken down. And now we are trading in the same kind of pattern, which, you know, the bear flag pattern, if we draw it out, the bear flag pattern goes like this. We have the flag and then it breaks down, creates another flag and breaks down. That's the pattern. And we can see, and I mentioned this before, that this will bring us to the price target of around $50,000 in September, October. And this is also what happened last cycle, the last bear market, where we had the first flag, the second flag, and then we went down to hit the bottom. So that's what I think will happen for you guys. Now, let's look at the CPI, Core Consumer Price Index data, which came out just 2 days ago. And this measures obviously the inflation rate, the average price of the basket of goods in the United States, to give you an idea of what are the average inflation rates. And the inflation came out at 3.3%, which is an immense year-on-year inflation. For March is 3.3%, up from 2.4% previously. So this is a massive increase. And what this is majorly caused by is obviously the increase in oil prices. Look at the US prices in oil. US oil prices are at all-time highs hitting $4.16 per gallon, which if you compare to the previous years here, you can see comparing it to 2025, 4 and 3, it is much higher. The oil prices have gone up tremendously. Just to show you guys again, oil prices were previously trading in December, January, February, March, around about $60 to $70 per barrel of crude oil. And now they're trading at over $90 and they went to 120. Now that obviously the peace talks have failed, I expect that oil prices will continue to go up, which will also continue to increase inflation. And here we can just see the CPI data is contributed mostly by fuel oil, gasoline, and basically oil. That's the idea. The inflation is caused primarily by the increase in oil. And what this means, first of all, we'll have further inflation, but what high inflation means is that Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve are not going to be dropping the interest rates. And we can see here that the interest rates are on the decline right now, but Trump obviously wants the interest rates to go down to stimulate the economy. We can only do that if inflation is under control, because if we reduce the interest rates, borrowing money is becoming cheaper, and therefore more people will take out mortgages, homes will get more expensive, more people will take out mortgages, more people will take out loans, which will bring more money in the economy, and business will be doing good in that time, but that will cause inflation. So if inflation is high, we're not going to lower the interest rates. Only when inflation is low, we're going to lower the interest rates. And also, of course, once we lower the interest rates, interest rates are usually lowered in response to good inflation, like low inflation, or if the economy is not doing that good. So here we can see in COVID, obviously the economy was not doing good, which is when the Fed reduced the interest rate to stimulate the economy. And if we have a recession now coming up, they will reduce it. Otherwise, while inflation is still high, we're not going to reduce the interest rates. And finally, I want to talk about, show you a quick clip from Michael Saylor And I really like his mentality to Bitcoin, how he says that you really have to buy as much Bitcoin as you can now, because he really sees the future potential of Bitcoin. Have a listen to what he says.
So, like in 2020, when I started buying Bitcoin, I was thinking, oh no, I got to do this in a hurry because someone's going to figure it out and the price is going to 10x. And I better get it before it 10x's. So, I mean, that's a natural reaction when it finally clicks in your head. Because you're thinking, why wouldn't every billionaire in the world go and buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, smash buy it overnight?
Right? I like his idea. And with that being said, let's go back quickly into Bitcoin. If we look at the weekly chart, which I have for you guys right here, you can see that we are currently in a downtrend. And one sec, let me just show you here. We are in a downtrend right now. Usually we go down for 364 days. These are the red lines, 364 days. Last time we went also down for 364 days. We always go up for 1064 days. Here we went up for 1064 days. With that idea, we're going to be hitting a bottom at 364 days from the top, which is end of September, beginning of October this year. With that idea, you should buy along the way down. Look guys, if you bought here, you would have made a profit. If you bought here, you would have made a profit. Don't necessarily wait until we reach the bottom. What I would do now is I think we're gonna have a breakdown from here, most likely following obviously last cycle and also following the idea that we hit a bottom 364 days from the top. So most likely we're gonna continue to go down. Once we have that breakdown, I would buy on a weekly basis, buy on a monthly basis, whatever you can, and try to get one Bitcoin or try to get as much Bitcoin as you can this cycle. Before then, after September, October, we're gonna skyrocket again. That's all for today. See you next time. Bye.